Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United. And we are back. Nico,
Yeah.
the season has started, you know. The space between last season and this season wasn't as long as it usually is. You know, it had a very, very, very short turnaround. But we're here again and um, we're here to review the preseason game against Aston Villa yesterday, Nico. You know, but before we get into it, how things on your end? What's going on?
Um, well, the quarantine, you try to keep safe as much as possible. If you had a self quarantine, if you just had to protect yourself, I think that is the way we go in. The Prime Minister said October 11th, we had this type of lockdown for. So I guess we're trying to keep it safe.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the media briefing and the reports that come out on a daily basis, and I see now we have like 52 deaths.
Okay.
You know, that's in real. It's real serious, and I mean it's affecting a particular group now. You know, more elderly people who have prior health issues now. You know, I realize those are the people that have been affected for the most part. So, I mean, as you say, I think we need to be vigilant. You know, we really need to take the things serious.
Yeah, we have to protect ourselves and our family, because you never know, where this virus is spreading so rapid that, you never know. So, we really take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
So to the game now, I guess not only to the game, good night, Richard. I was listening to Luke Shaw after the game in a interview he had after the game, and it's just showing how the time's different. He said when he came out, hey Karina, good night. Yeah, he said when he came out to training, right? He said it was only 4 persons training when he started to train 2 weeks ago. That the signs of the time. Only 4 persons training. Players in quarantine. Players, who messing up things, I wouldn't say the name too loud, Greenwood, so he had to stay away and train, then Maguire the next one, so things all over the place, I guess, in training. Come match day, well, the match that will count, I hope we really pull it together,
But in fairness to the comment that they was making just now, I think the reason why it would have had 4 people in training when Luke Shaw joined, it was part because of some players had to quarantine because of where they would have gone. So when they came back, they had to spend some days in self-isolation. But also we had some guys who were on international duty, and I think even when they came back, because I think Lindelof came back and he experienced some kind of fatigue, so Oli decided to rest him. And so because of how, the whole COVID threw off everything, it really messed with the preseason that, we used to seeing that.
And even in the world of football, everything's so weird. Look, even PSG start. I don't know if you follow PSG lost again today. So PSG lost. Yeah, so PSG lost the game in the week and then lost today, right? And that could only tell because remember the Champions League final was more or less just in a day.
Yeah.
And remember you're really training to peak for a Champions League final, but remember after the peak, you will have a time where and then you rebuild for the season, which is normally used to happen where you get 4 weeks off, that kind of thing, to be able to recover, to start back the season, but just getting back into the season immediately. It's fatigue and mental fatigue, emotional, physical, it's stressful, it's really stressful on the body and the players. And I guess most of us out there, facing some type of challenge due to the pandemic.
Yeah. Richard saying, can't be vexed with 18-year-old for being an 18-year-old. But
But you keep remember your point, eh? But remember Greenwood and fellas is not no normal 18-year-old guys. They would have been brought up in an academy that will be. It's a different level of training now. So yes, these are 18-year-olds, and yes, 18-year-olds will be 18-year-olds. You know what I mean? And I agree with that. But he also had to be real aware now. And I think I really don't think it's Greenwood. I think Foden who really instigate everything. I'm telling you. Because when they watch the woman for his Phil Foden name on him. Phil Foden name on the phone.
Yeah,
And then Greenwood was still asking, so what you coming to do? Right? What you coming to do? Right?
Yeah.
Influence.
Greenwood went into that fully aware of what he was doing. Because from the reports I read, if what it is that I read is true, Mason Mount was with them too, and he didn't get himself involved. You understand what I'm saying? So Greenwood, I know angel earlier, you know. But the thing about it is what I have in that is with I think this experience it happened a good time. Yeah, it happened good time for Greenwood to pick himself up and learn from this mistake, because you've seen a lot of things happening in the media where they're trying to come down on him and they're trying to dig up all kind of thing from this boy past. You understand? I think the one of the news outlets bring up some picture with Mason Greenwood inhaling laughing gas and all kind of things. So I think it's happening the right time for Mason to take stock of, as you say, what complete territory of being a professional at 18 years old, and knowing that, hey, here what's going on. If you had to do that crap, hide better. I mean, I think what even made it worse in what they would have done on international duty is the whole pandemic risk. Because I've heard so many cases where players bring in, people and doing all kind of thing, immorally. But I think the bigger issue for me was the health risk. Where you break the bubble, you went out of quarantine or that safe place where you all were in and you brought people from outside. It could have put your entire team at risk. So for me, that is the aspect of their breach that I was most disappointed in. But at the same time, and Richard, mentioned it here, they're victimizing him. And they're not doing that to Foden. They're not to Greenwood. Only Greenwood getting that. You telling me Foden don't have no pass where he could go and dig up on?
It's true.
So, I mean, I think Greenwood should and would learn from this. And it would instruct him as he would move forward in his career,
You think due to that, you think he would have any repercussions in terms of United, in terms of maybe being banned for anything like that? You feel that would be possible? Anything like that? You hear anything like that in the talks?
I ain't hear nothing like that from reports that I read. I didn't hear anything like that. And I think as a first-time offense, for it to have any kind of serious sanction apart from probably a little fine from the club and a little warning, I think anything outside of that could be overdoing it. It's an 18-year-old, it's a first-time offense, and if we look at it how you were saying it just now, Foden influenced the man,
I feel so. As you say, I know you're no angel, but I find he didn't sound like he know what's going on fully now. You know what I mean?
I ain't mind that.
That Foden influenced him. You know what I mean? And in terms of that, though, I don't know how his mindset, how his frame of mind would be going into the season, with this cloud hanging over him now. I don't know. So,
But as you mentioned, I guess we could get into the game yesterday. Richard saying here, he say, I must say I like how Lingard played yesterday. Just needs to work on his finishing. Yeah, I think the end product was always a question on Lingard, but Nico, talk to me now.
As we touched on Lingard, I think again Lingard was more or less one of the bright sparks. I think that's his finishing. I think if he was more clinical in his finishing, we would have definitely won that game easily. I personally think that we created enough chances to score more than one goal. The Aston Villa keeper definitely made one or two saves that definitely saved the team, saved them from a defeat. But to me, we had some decent performances. With the squad that we put out there, we had some decent performances. I think for me, the Van der Beek, whatever you calling him. I think he has definitely he has a promising career ahead of him. You know, I think what you saw of him, especially in the attacking third, I think was very impressive. I think his level of composure, I think his ability to, and we have spoken before, to find spaces and to play these simple passes. You know, I think he definitely has that. I think he would complement to me. He would definitely complement a Bruno and a Pogba. But of course, that would limit Pogba now to really be in the more defensive player, which I know, yes, we want to free Pogba. But if you really want to get the best out of him, I think he would definitely have to play higher up the field. I think deeper, I see them being much too effective playing deeper, but I see them, you know what I mean? Because you have Bruno who would be trying passes. You know what I mean? I know Bruno, he would continue to try. But Van der Beek now, he would be more conservative in terms of and in terms of pass completion, his pass completion rate with the yeah. You know, so that will kind of complement. And you know, while Pogba playing, you know, Pogba have the long passes, right? Pogba could also pick a pass, but still with the type of football that he plays and as what we saw yesterday, he would definitely influence the game differently. Maybe with the control possession more with him in the team, because his ability to find spaces. I think he would definitely bode well going forward. If he's a starter at the beginning of the season, I don't know, maybe not, because I think Martin still have a lot to give, right? But I think coming into the squad and improving the squad as a whole, I think he's definitely a plus.
Yeah. Let me just get a comment here. Richard saying, what I hate to see with us is what I saw about 5 times yesterday. The ball went across the box and no one attacked it, which is disappointing.
Yeah, I think and one of the chief players for that, especially first half, I was in press rooms, was James. I think James had a very promising first half. I think his best side is on the left side. Yes, we know with Rashford there, you know, he may not get the opportunity to play on the left as he may want, you know, but I think that is his best side. I think he delivered some real talent crosses that if we had more hungry strikers in the area, we could have scored. Yes, we had Igalo, but we didn't have anybody else following up, you know, because most of the times when James would have made those crosses, it would have, you may only see one person in the area. With other teams, it's 3 and 4 players running the area at that time because they know that, hey, this man's going to cross, you know. And even when Shaw sometimes had some crosses yesterday that that if we really had, well, I mean, let me say even Marshall, because we see now that Marshall kind of developed that hunger, you know, to make those kind of runs and to be in that position, you know. So I think James' performance was good yesterday in terms of those deliveries. And yes, we had to really improve in terms of attacking the goal line, especially when those balls coming across.
Yeah. If I could just touch on Van der Beek, right? My observation, very, very similar to yours. I don't think I had enjoyed him because when they had started the game, he played on the same line with McTominay, you know, and as I was telling you earlier, I don't know if it's because he, you know, it's the first game and, you know, he wants to make no mistakes or whatever the issue was, but I didn't enjoy him playing that deep. You know, normally when somebody playing that deep, they would be a little more what's the word I'm looking for, boy? Demanding in terms of the worry ball, and they want to start to make things happen. You know, but I found he was hiding from the ball. You know, and then when he did get the ball deep, the passes that he was making were overly cautious. You know, and he didn't want to hold the ball too long, and he would hold it, he would turn, twist, and he would make a very, very simple pass. You know, and that's not the kind of player, you know, if we had purchased a player to play that kind of position, that is not the kind of player we're looking for to play there. We want somebody a little more commanding, a little more, you know, hungry for the ball to start to make things happen from deep. You know, as you noted, when he started to play a bit higher in the number 10 role, is when I was a little more impressed with what I saw. You know, him moving into the spaces, as I mentioned, receiving the ball, his passing decisions, you know, going for the safe, I won't say the safer pass, But yes, it was more the safer pass in terms of trying to maintain possession.
But, but effective.
But effective, yes, correct.
Right.
As opposed to the Bruno who go take more risks, you know.
Yeah.
So Aston, he had a nice little kick turn and flick something that I found was real nice. So for me, I more see him as a rotational player with Bruno, you know, rather than a midfield with Pogba, Van de Beek, and Bruno. I really don't want to see Pogba playing deep. You know, I want Pogba to be a little more free to press and to go high and do things. Let me do limit Pogba to a passing from the role, you know. I think
if you had played the three of them at any point, let me say due to injuries.
Yeah, well, Pogba got to play deep, yeah.
No, I said, right, due to injuries or anything, any limitation within the squad, then, you know what I mean, you're not seeing Van de Beek playing that.
No. But I think, as I mentioned sometime before to you, right, it will have games where I figure, you know, where the team might sit back, you know, we're going to need a Van de Beek, you know, in there with Pogba and Bruno. And I want to bring to memory the game when we played Newcastle, when Jose Mourinho was in charge. And that the game we was down 2-0 and we came back and we won 3-2. And Pogba was taking the ball from the defenders and he was building it from deep. And he was very effective, you know. But at the same time, he ended up in the box because I think it was him, Matic, and somebody else was the three in the defense. But those are in-game tactical changes. But to start a game, you know, I think for now, in my opinion, Van de Beek had to rotate with Bruno. You know, Richard saying, yeah, Nico James, best side is the left side since the beginning of last season. Yeah, here my thing, James for me end product still questionable, still a real suspect. I saw he did some good things, you know, yesterday. But at the same time, in my opinion, if James would lift his head up and square back the ball instead of going across the face of the goal, then we might have seen some more chances created. You know, your ball actually reaching one of your players. Not everybody gonna blaze down the field to reach at the goal line to try to skate in a ball, if you understand what I'm saying. Because remember the entire defensive line too, Nico, pushing with Igalo who trying to force the line back. So that's why Marcus Rashford, most of the time, they go back and you look at it. Marcus Rashford always drop back at the top of the box waiting for a cut back, and you'll find the person who was playing wide, whether it's Dalot or probably Lingard, was coming to the far post. Yeah, they were late. But, I mean, if you play it across the face of the goal twice, the third time, look up now.
Well, I think being, well, I mean, not defending him in any way, but being fair or, well, I mean, being impartial, right? Maybe that's what we're doing in training. Because sometimes the game has been so fast that all we be telling, hey, when you get down that area, put it across, right? Don't back, right? And maybe Rashford them do what I want. I just say. Maybe Rashford them do what I want, right? Only tell the man here, when you get down, put it across the goal. That's why we need to do. Focus on that. That's why we develop, right?
So let me ask you something, Nico. At the end of the day, yes, you would have done certain things in training, but what you had to realize in game, you had to think on the run. You can't say, okay, because in training I put the ball across the face of the goal, then I had to put it across the face of the goal. You want to lift up your head.
You put it across the face of the goal and across somebody's score.
Nah, Nico, at the end of the day, you want to know.
Yeah. Footballers IQ, you want to be intelligent. You put it across. The men it have nobody there. See that somebody need up, cut it back. You know what I mean? I mean, no, you're lacking that football intelligence. So to make up for that, right? You have to make up for that in training, right? That is where you make up for that. If you don't have it naturally, where you had to do it is in training, and maybe you're not doing it in training. Maybe I don't know because for the entire last season you're doing the same thing. This season come now and you're still raising your head to see where your players is, then you know what I mean? Something wrong.
I don't know. For me, from day one, Daniel James' end product was always something I always used to talk about, and we always used to kind of agree on. You know, he will. Yeah, I'm hoping he will improve, but I mean, I ain't seen nothing, Nico, a whole season and nothing. And even further to that, I watched the games when he played for Wales, and it's the same thing.
Mm.
You're not looking up, you're just playing the ball across the face of the goal and expecting that it's going to meet a man, you know? Hey, welcome, Simeon. He's saying any formation change is possible with the new addition. What do you think?
I don't know, buddy. The reason why I'm unsure is because the change within seasons so short, and I don't think Oli had enough time to really think out a rotation to even want to even start the season with a new formation. You know, so if it is, maybe it will happen later in the season, but I'm definitely not seeing a change now. I really not seeing a change now.
I mean, I think we toyed with the 4-4-2 diamond in Ollie's first season. I think we did it a couple of times. Not so much fruitfulness or success last season, but it's something that the team worked on before. So probably, and I think what Simeon talking about is trying to incorporate Bruno, Pogba, Van de Beek, and a defensive midfielder. You know, so it's something possible. It's something that we probably may see at some point. It all depends, as I think, as you mentioned earlier, Nico, the players are available, you know, and a game plan. Who knows? Who knows? Richard saying, but I'm really disappointed Henderson didn't get a clean sheet, even though he's a friendly. Here now, you want to talk about Maguire, Nico?
Oh no! I give it Maguire the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I mean, head's still not in the right place. You know, after the man make a jail, right? You know, I think his head's still not in the right place. So I telling you, and you would have said it. Fosu Mensah had a better game at centre back than Maguire, and $90 million centre back. That is disgraceful, right? So I don't want to say much, but Maguire was in a mess yesterday, and he had up his game. But if that's how Maguire going into next season, and you look at like they didn't even give him no food or water when he was in jail, then we in real problems. You know, I'm telling you. Then we in real problems. What? Nah, you're giving away every simple. You can't make simple passes. You're giving away the ball, right? Your positioning sense, you're all over the place. You can barely clear the ball. Maguire performance yesterday was horrendous.
I think he know that, you know, because it's nothing again I could add, you know, to what you were saying, because I mean I think you covered everything on Maguire yesterday, and I hope Richard is a wake up, and as we see a different Maguire come Saturday, because
Crystal Palace game last week, the between. You remember the between at home last season?
Yeah. Hey Rudy, welcome, bro. He said I could remember when you pointed out. Remember you pointed that out from the early days, room. That's Daniel James. He's also saying, yeah, it's a long and hard season. All opponents won't be the same. So I believe Donny Van de Beek will find his place and purpose in his squad, definitely. No doubt. No doubt about that. You know, because you see the quality, and it's all about Oli to really use his squad, because I'm not really seeing where Oli gonna be getting the kind of players to really that kind of reinforcement now, Nico, in the transfer window, and I've seen that happening. I don't know what's going on, you know, but I think Van de Beek is definitely one who will get a lot of game time. But what McTominay, I find McTominay look real bright for that little 45 minutes. He looked, you know, sharp. You know, he was up for it.
Yeah, I think playing the 2 games for Scotland would have definitely boost his confidence. And I think he did well for Scotland also, you know, so that's the performance at Scotland, and then coming back at United. Ooh, don't do with that, Simeon. Oh gosh. Anyway, Right?
A rock and a hard place, boy. A rock and a hard place.
Way pressure. Right? But I think McTominay can come back with some confidence. You saw it yesterday. You know, but you know, someone, you know, it has some players that screen audition, you know, and then, you know, when the season started, like, oh Lord, you know what I mean? And Lingard is a specialist to that. Lingard is a specialist to give you a real best performance in a friendly or a preseason. And then when the season starts, you're all over the place. You know, but yes, you know, McTominay got a lot of games also. He showed up yesterday. Possibly might see him starting against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I thought he was bright. We know when you consider the kind of cutting edge quality that we want to see in a midfield, McTominay is not that. But I think it's important to give them fellas minutes because we will need them, Nico. We cannot play Pogba, Bruno, and whoever for 38, 40 games for a season. Plus then you consider cup. Yeah, then you consider cup games. Yeah, so I think it's important, and I really hope this is something Oli doing, to try to get them fellas some confidence to get minutes so that when they call upon, the leveling will drop now. So I was pleased, with the 45 minutes I get from McTominay. Rudy saying, hear me out. How about we for and try to get Umtiti? I ain't feeling Umtiti.
Really, if the man ain't playing for Barcelona in Spain, where he hardly have any kind of defending more or less to do, and he can't make that squad. You will come in the Premier League, boy. Right? You can get battered, boy. I suspect that real. I don't know why, because he played for France and he's not injured, right?
No. But he was injured, right? He's very injury prone.
Right? So, you know what I mean? I think the other Frenchman who made his debut recently, I think, as Reams would have put it out before, Macano, I think that to me that is the feature.
He said Umtiti isn't really isn't really wanted by Barca, who he kind of injury prone, but we could use him as a cut price. I don't know, boy. I don't know. I think I saw this guy for Mensa. I mean, no, I know Nico, you talk about preseason performances versus when we really get into the league, And one person you didn't mention was preseason Perlo, Mr. Andres Pereira. Yeah, but the likes of this guy, Tuanzebe is back training with the team. Then the guy, what's his name again, Nico? The youth fella from the youth team. Mengi looking real good too. So I don't know if this might be a season to bring in them fellas and get them a breakout, to see how they feel, how they go with the cup games. So I think going for Umtiti, it might just cost us a lot because he will come for a high salary. He injury prone. I'm not sure that
move might keep back.
Because I really find Mengi looking real solid, Nico, and the man, he's a youth. He's looking good, and then Tuanzebe coming back, and yeah, we know he's a World Cup winner. But it's what we're trying to build here too now, bro. Hey, get on. Thanks for joining, bro. He says shuffle the thing, and I suppose he referring to rotation within the squad. Definitely. No hope for Rojo. Well, based on what reports saying, Rojo is likely to leave. Him and during the last week, from what I read, him and Smalling have been coming in at different times from the team and leaving earlier than when the majority of the squad came in. So that could only really mean that probably they're on the brink of leaving. So Nico Dalot.
We really gonna talk about Dalot? Wasn't impressed. Yeah, let me know that. Wasn't impressed. I just wasn't impressed. Dalot was just there. I was more impressed with Fosu-Mensah. Dalot was just there. So I really have much comments to give on Dalot.
And I find
He had some simple balls to put in the area with time and space, and he still got it wrong. You know?
yeah.
Yeah. So
And you know,
efficiency. I think he's not efficient enough with the ball. You know what I mean? As he should be now to really warrant that spot. You know, I think he doesn't go with the ball a little too much.
and you know, people were saying that, and I mean, even myself included, yeah, I was always, or I am of the opinion that Dalo better in the attacking third than Wan-Bissaka. But yesterday, Dalo didn't cover himself in any kind of glory as far as that was concerned. You know what I'm saying? Bissaka can't cross, and he crossing better than Dalo. You know, Gideon saying Dalo lacking confidence, and that's possibly it, eh? You know, because sometimes, you know, them fellas and them just need that run of games to get back in the mojo. But if Man United,
maybe
alone,
and to get confidence and show you had that confidence. Ooh, that man the more Dalo, yes.
I don't even know if Oli might be willing to loan Dalo. It's either, you know, he sell him or what. And because from what I reading as well, he not to really prove his situation.
Yeah, but he's a young fella. I see he's young, he's about 2021.
Yeah. I guess so. So yesterday we saw Marcus Rashford playing in what we could call an unfamiliar position. You know, he played in the number 10 role. I thought that he started off very, very bright. You know, but as the game went on, he started to fade. You know, and you would expect being, you know, in from the front line that we saw play yesterday, being, you know, a starter, you know, in our best 11, you would expect that he might have carry a little more leadership responsibility as it would relate to we attacking, you know, hopes yesterday. And I didn't see it from him, Nico. You know, as I said before, he started off bright, you know, he spun a man in the box, you know, you know. Yeah. But I just always say after the spanner, what? Because our game is not a spanner and then final whistle blow. You know, it has more time to play football, and you know, I didn't see him really leading the line as you would like to say for a player like him of his quality, you know, his experience. Even though he's young, you know, he's been playing football at this level for quite some time. You know, and I was a little bit disappointed that he didn't show a little more leadership in terms of taking responsibility. You know, and then I saw even in some instances where his head and all dropped. Yeah. And I was asking myself, one Rashford?
Especially that moment in the second half where he took a shot.
Yeah.
And he kicked wide. I mean, he hit the... And you know, it's like, you know, so he looked like he was the word of confidence a bit. I guess it will come, Reeves. I guess it will come. I think he's a player that really need games to, you know, to really get that confidence. I guess it will come. And I think with players like Bruno behind you, you win penalties and Bruno game to score it, and it might help the confidence. You know, because he's a confidence player. I think he has a lot to offer. He's not as efficient as we would like him to be at present, and some of his decision making is what kind of irritating you a lot of the times now. You know, sometimes you're trying the impossible, you know. So I think this game time and confidence. I don't know if Marshall getting most goals ahead of him affected him. I don't know, because I find before Marshall went ahead, he was looking good, and after Marshall went ahead with goals, you know, he had dropped. You know, so you know, I mean, I think with games you come good.
Hey, Gregory, welcome, man. Thanks for joining. He said, just remember, a lot of these guys haven't played in some time. And he's saying as well, they need some rhythm.
Yeah.
But but if I agree with what Ollie said, is that our preseason, if we could put it like that, was the Europa League. You know, so how much games then you need for rhythm, if you understand what I'm saying? Because
Rashford is a rhythm player. So
but Nico
2 weeks ago and he had to go back there with him. Maguire's the next one like that too.
Yeah, but Nico, hear me right?
Play every week.
Yeah, but hear him out. we were talking the same way about Rashford during the Europa League because we were asking ourselves what's going on with Rashford, what happened to Rashford. So for me, it's not a matter of like a minute, even though yes, there's a good shout or match rhythm. I don't think it's that. For me, I feel it's just confidence, you know, because at the end of the day, we were saying the same thing when he was playing game after game from Premiership into Europa League, the knockout phase, and we were still seeing where he was not himself. People were at that point in time attributing it to injuries. Now we're seeing like a match rhythm. I don't know.
Yeah, give him some time. Give him some time still, man. You come good. You come good.
All right, I hear you. But I just saying, right? I just saying, if Greenwood come back from, from quarantine and Greenwood come in the team and Greenwood playing good, and as I said before, I still believe that we get in Sancho. Sancho come in and Sancho, just like Bruno, get the ball running and start a play one time. What gonna happen to Rashford? And my thing is with Rashford, he very, very lucky that the manager favor him and like him. Because based on what I've seen happening now, if there was anybody else, people would be calling for them to get dropped.
True.
But I guess the fact that we do have better on the bench is what's saving Rashford right now.
True.
Sorry, yeah. Richard said, "Now Rashford will pull through, no doubt. He is United." I ain't doubting that. Gideon saying Rashford needs the best people in the squad around him earlier, and he was playing with the best people in the squad during Europa League. They just need to share the load. Martial and Rashford don't need to overly compete against each other. And I think they had said that last season. They support each other and they try to set up each other for goals. So that is something that I hope is true. And
easily said that done, eh?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, easily said that done.
Gregory's also saying, just remember Rashford had an ankle injury, so he needs to get time. All right, I will relent, and let's see how long we would allow this injury excuse to go for. Right? I guess saying it's like a jumping from injury to match rhythm to this to that. All right, let me see. The difference between match fitness and there's a difference between match fitness and match sharpness. All right, so I could take that. Saying we could try Marcel and Rashford up top in a 4-4-2. That's not a bad shout.
They're not a bad shout.
Nico, what about Igalo?
What I like about Igalo is he link up play. I think he have a real decent link up play. But to me, Igalo again lacking game time, right? And we go back to the same lacking rhythm. You know what I mean? I think if you really get Igalo play more regular, I think you'll see the best of Igalo. I think even for the Europa League semi-final, bringing him on with 2 minutes to go, I think that if it's even you're saying it's like a preseason, that is not going to help. Right? You're bringing him on with 2 minutes in extra time. Right? Like if you playing, you try to run on the clock, right? That is not going to help. So if you really want to build a squad going forward and have a squad that, has some minutes under the belt, I think yesterday's game was important for him, to get our minutes. But I think the more minutes that Igalo get, the more effective he would be. And I think as we saw when he came in, he has it in him, but he just had to get our game time. And you'll see best time. If you do that, you definitely be in a good place.
I'm telling you, that the kind of mentality we want in our team.
That kind of fight you want.
Which way? Are they fellas wicked me? Here no, but I agree with you fully on Igalo, Nico. At the start of the game, I think Igalo was doing a good job. But then again, as we saw prior to Bruno coming into the team, the strikers, especially the centre forward, was always starved of possession and sometimes they will go for long periods without even touching the ball. And I thought when we started the game, there were moments in the game where we were pressing and we had possession and we were moving it around nicely, and Igalo was getting involved. And when he got involved, he was doing good. The link up, as you say, trying to lay off players, set up players, all that his movement in the box, dealing with his name Tyrone Mings, he was doing a good job. But then there were large portions when we were playing with the ball a little too much without trying to involve the center forward, and we missed Igalo at that point in time. So I think Igalo definitely need games. I was a bit surprised actually yesterday when Oli pulled off Igalo, and that kind of sent a message that, here we're going on, Igalo really probably not part of Oli plans. When I see him come off, inside of me kind of drop a little bit now, Even I know he's not here for the long term. I know he's leaving in January, but when I saw him come off there, I was like, boy, nah. Like he really not that,
Or you really banking that we get Sancho, so that even now, could be mad now, if you get Sancho, it's, let me say, if it's at Greenwood or Rashford, right? Whoever else who may be out of form at the moment in time might be on the bench, right? So more than likely they would come on even before Igalo. So that I might push Igalo further down the pecking line in terms of opportunities to play. So maybe that is what you're looking at also.
Yeah, but I mean, as we would have noted in previous reviews, Igalo's still offering something different, and I think he has something to offer. But I guess only know what he's looking for, And Steven saying Igalo on a different wavelength than everyone else. Yeah, but I mean, is it the team playing to his strength now? And he's not the kind of fella that you really build your team around, because he's just not that now. Most of the time Igalo gets game is with the weaker midfielders. He needs to get game with the playmakers. That's true. That's very true. And I think we were saying that about Mata as well, Nico. If we play Mata with the legs of Bruno, you'll see a different, So guys, so that was our review of the preseason friendly. Now the fact that we lost, the scoreline fails in comparison to the performance. I think we should have won that game probably 3 or 4-1. And I think I can't remember who it was that mentioned that Henderson deserved a clean sheet, because apart from that one chance, it had nothing else.
Nothing else to do. I look at nothing.
Yeah. So unfortunately, and these are the kind of defensive, lapses that has cost us in the past, and I really hoping, Nico, that we don't have to rue the same mistakes, this season, right? So, Nico, the situation is now that we going into the new Premier League season on Saturday against Crystal Palace. How are you feeling about that? I know you don't have much to base our opinion, to form our opinion on, or how you feel going into the first game next week.
Crystal Palace definitely coming off a high. Yeah, I think they won this weekend, right?
Yeah.
So they won this weekend. We would have lost to as a weakened team. We would have lost with, I think that in terms of confidence of the team, I don't think the performance yesterday would have dented us in any way. I think if it was our first team, then maybe, it has some more question marks. But with the amount of, players who we know not even going and he not even be on the bench, right? That played yesterday, I think that would not affect us much in any way. I think what is important is the likes of Bruno. We're not sure to see Pogba, but we're not sure, right? In terms of Pogba, but you never know. He might come off the bench, right? The likes of Marshall, who is in red hot form, coming back. Greenwood, again, you don't know what's gonna happen with Greenwood. When we talk about Bruno, Wan-Bissaka, again, we still don't know what Wan-Bissaka too, because he and all was in quarantine. I think even if you had to go back to the game yesterday, sure, yes, we know he was looking a little chubby, a little overweight, but
Santa Claus.
But I still find he gave us something that lacking. I think he was a bit more solid defensively and going forward sometimes. He's a little lazy, but I think having him back into the squad is important. I think I'll bring back a balance to the defense and going forward. So I think that would also be important. I think Matic should come back. You know, I don't know even why Matic play. I don't know if he on quarantine. I don't know, like everybody on quarantine. You know, I think Matic also remark a stability to the team. Most likely, I see in the hair back into the team starting. So I think it will be a more or less a total different team. I think the chemistry will be different. I think the movement and play at Old Trafford, I think definitely we're going to come out on top. You know, yes, we know Crystal Palace coming confident. But beside their goal they scored, I didn't see much of a threat from them. You know, yes, they have Batshuayi, who also is a bit informed, you know, for some reason he always scores against United. He's definitely a player that I look out for. Zaha, of course, you know, but at home, playing at home, players like Bruno coming back confident, you know, Marshall confident, you know, I think we're definitely going to come out on top.
Yeah. For me, the team that we have, I mean, I think people are so focused now on transfers. You know, myself included, that we tend and we're so focused on the team needing to improve that we actually forgetting the quality of players that we have in the team. You know, we know that there are areas in the squad that definitely needs improving. We also know that there are areas on the bench that needs improving. But I think you know, sometimes when you're looking so much on trying to get the improvement, you forget the quality that you really have within your team. You know, because if I could remind everybody, we went through the whole of the back end of last season, post-COVID, undefeated, you know, bar the Chelsea game in the FA Cup. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, eh?
Yeah, you're right.
So the team is not a bad team that we have to say, well, oh gosh, Crystal Palace. Now we know Man United have the tendency to just show up and disappear. But I really think that the mentality in the team right now, especially with the likes of Bruno, you know, and Pogba, you know, is a winner. They are winners. And then when you consider Bruno coming off a very, very good international break, you know, he was very, very positive for Portugal in those two games. Similarly with Martial, when Martial came on, he impacted the first game and he was very bright in the second game. You know, who against Scott McTominay, as you say, Daniel James, all these fellows who went on international break were very, very positive, had good displays. So, and I think this week should be enough, you know, for the team to just gel back, because as I said before, I don't think the break was that long for them to lose everything that we had post-COVID, you know. And I think we have enough quality to deal with Palace. Yes, Palace coming off a good result against who they play?
I can't remember exactly who they played.
Yeah, whoever they played, they came off a good result, but I don't think the performance was that incredible to say, well, they walk over our team and, hey, we really got to watch what's going on here because Crystal Palace could come and walk over us. I don't think that's the issue. Also, when we played Crystal Palace last season, you know, it was the same team that played about 4 or 5 games prior to that, and they could have seen the fatigue was starting to tell. So, you know, I think a fresh United team going into this game, yes, we mightn't be sharp, but a fresh United team going into this game, I think we have enough quality to deal with Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
You know, Simeon asking if there are any Ollie comments. Yeah, I think Ollie did say that he's not sure about Pogba. You know, but then again, as Nico rightfully mentioned, you don't know. Pogba could be there or he could be on the bench. You know, the quarantine period ended at the end of this week. So the entire team will be training this week. You know, so it's just about who would be fit enough to start the game come Saturday. So I think we don't have any issues with the team. As he said, Tuanzebe is back training with the squad. I don't think we had any. I don't think I heard of any long-term injuries. You know, just trying to get players out. I don't think Smalling, Rojo, and I suspect as well Nico Pereira. They might be the players that we might see leaving.
Right.
You know,
I think Galbraith need some game time also. You know, I think he's showing some promise, but he's seen a lot of development still required in his game. Yes, maybe to me, Levitt looked better when Levitt was around, but Levitt already on loan. You know, So in terms of that, I think Galbraith should also get an opportunity to go on a loan also to develop.
But I like him. I like Galbraith.
Mm.
You know, so I don't know if he might be one or he might keep with the squad just to train with the first team, and then probably next season or even January he might be the one to see the loan, because I think we know Levitt went out on loan, and I think they're looking for a loan deal for Ghana.
Yeah.
You know, so they always try to keep some of the players to train with the first team for numbers and things. So I feel Galbraith might be one of those who they'll keep, and he might see minutes here and there depending on the game, depending on the result. You know, so Nico, before we wrap up, what do you think is your starting lineup for Palace on Saturday?
Hard question, boy. But definitely, Marshall will lead the line. You're right. Rashford, I see Rashford back into the team. But I also seen James. Honestly, I seen James in the team. Nearly the expense of Greenwood, right? So it's like my three forwards in the midfield. I seen Bruno, Matic, and who boy? If it's not Pogba, it'll be I want to go to Van der Beek. I want to go with him. I don't know if Ollie go with him slowly. What if not? I think McTominay, because McTominay had a solid game. Right? And well, in defense, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, and Wan-Bissaka with the hair in goal.
And who in goal?
The hair in goal.
Yeah. Who I go with different boy? I think I go with the same back line. Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, Bissaka, they here in goal, yes, for me. Midfield, Matic and McTominay. And I do agree with even though for me it's not really making sense, because I thinking to myself, yes, Ollie might want to give Greenwood a little break coming off all the little external publicity. But then again, you're not gonna play Rashford on the right. So then why you play James on the left when you know for the first game of the season you're gonna play on the right? You know, so that's the only thing I'm not sure about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I kind of lean into think that probably he might go with Greenwood, Marcel, and Rashford. You know, well with Bruno. So I think that's the only difference between your team and my team, Greenwood and James.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so guys, you could feel free in the comments to you know.
To say also Bruno, Matic, and McTominay.
Yeah. So guys, you all could feel free. Oh yes, and Richard is reminding us that Palace played Southampton on Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, so they beat Southampton. Yeah, but they didn't by no stretch did they dominate that game. You know, so guys, I think that brings us to the end of our review of the preseason game versus Aston Villa that we lost 1-0. But as you know, the scoreline doesn't reflect how the game actually went. But at the end of the day, in competition is the goal that will count. So as well as the preview for the game against Crystal Palace on Saturday. So Nico, any closing remarks?
Yeah, I guess when the season starts, you know what I mean? I guess the only quarantine with how everybody home most of the times working from home. It always good to have football now. You know, have something to do. You know, so I think the football starting back in a good time. Yes, maybe it's stressful on the players. But I think starting back in a good time that you can take your mind off of some of the life stresses at this period in particular. You know, so I'm grateful for that. You know, grateful to see United back on the field. I think more or less that we could do that. We could comfortably do that and not be stressed. You know, look at United play. Hopefully, give us a good performance. You know, something to look forward to. You know, so I think I'm happy for that. You know, I think we really will be up against it in terms of even the top four. You know, as much as we have improved, I think Chelsea has improved. Well, Chelsea went back to when Mourinho now come when they buy everybody. Right? Only best players in the world. That's why they want to drop them in and the win. You know, I just see the Chelsea with Frank. I think if the team don't perform on that front, I think definitely Frank might last the season. Right? Yeah, no, seriously, because if you spend all that money and you languishing somewhere down, fifth, sixth, and you're struggling, you might last the season with the kind of firepower you have there. So all these exciting things to look forward to, which I'm definitely looking forward to Chelsea play tomorrow, even to watch them play, see how the integrating, see what we had to be coming up against, so yeah, just really to look forward to the season and we hope for the best. We hope that we challenge at least the top two, as I would say, Liverpool and the City. No matter I see Liverpool might struggle a bit, especially defensively. I find that they're conceding a lot of goals. Even if you look at the preseason games, they concede a lot of goals and Leeds really give them a run for the money. So I think that's for me, we challenge the top two. And I think for me, that would be a successful season. I don't think, and I'm looking out for us to win the title, but that's when United challenging the top of the table. I think for me, that would be a successful season this season.
Yeah. As you was talking to Nico, you make me remind something. I was looking at ESPN FC now. I know I had to stop watching them, but Craig Burley and sometimes earlier we own Shaka Hislop. That's really disappointing. I had to call that station against Man United FC. Serious, because Craig Burley, Nico, they were asking Craig Burley about Lampard. Now, mind you, I think Chelsea probably signed about 8 players by now, right? And they asked Craig Burley, who was a former Chelsea player, I guess playing out there. They asked Craig Burley, with these kind of signings that Lampard get, where you see Chelsea going? He said, well, listen, I think Lampard needs time. All he expecting from Lampard is to perform well and to finish in a respectable position.
Jeez, right? It is.
I ain't finished. They asked Shaka, and Shaka agreed fully. You understand that they expect that it will take some time to gel, wherever. However, I remember last season when we spent 80 million on Maguire and 50 on Bissaka. You understand? Their prediction was that if we didn't finish in top 4, Nico, we were supposed to sack Oli. So it's like with the consistency with your standards, the man agenda, it's so clear. Sometimes hey, here now, them fellas look at Cristiano, And then Shaka hits up, so I expect more from Shaka to be a little more objective, but like me, like Burley has some kind of forward one on him, but I don't know, but Anyway, but I agree with your what you said about our season. I think a good season for us will be competing for the top at the table. Making that gap a little smaller. Finishing third, yes, but the gap between first, second, and third shouldn't be 30-something points. At least 10 points. And I will be comfortable. I will be pleased with that. I still do think that we need to strengthen the squad. We have how much? 2 weeks again. For the team to do something. I don't know how much of the back ends he'll get. I still feel Sancho will get Sancho over the line, whether it's on the 99th hour. I still feel it gonna happen, but I don't think that's enough. But I think there's a season that will prove Ollie's worth in terms of coaching, and rotating your squad and managing your squad. He proved that he could do a thing. So let me see what's going on here. Yes, again, you mightn't get the full, transfer request that you wanted, but let me see how it goes. We have a good squad. Yeah. So guys, thanks again for all. I'm gonna get these two comments inside. Richard saying hopefully Lingard attacks the same with the same intensity that he attacked Morgan. Richard on fire today, man. And he's saying too much cooks spoil the pot, Nico. I think that's when you're talking about Chelsea.
Yeah.
But let me hope that pot spoils
We
bad.
hope so, yes.
Like
Let
some
hope so,
hot
yes.
curry. We hope that pot spoils bad.
Hey.
You know. So guys, thanks again for joining. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the shares. You know, and as usual, check us on YouTube, subscribe, like, you know, so that we can get the content out there, right? We do appreciate it. So have a good night, everybody. Peace out.
Good night.
Oh, before we go, we'll be here to review the game on Saturday. Well, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, however, we'll let you all know. All right, have a good night, everyone.